Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Want to welcome you to another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. In this series, we have the privilege of speaking with leading brands about what they are seeing and hearing on the front lines of customer channel and brand loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Anil Mansukhani, who's the Vice President of Loyalty Marketing for MGM Resorts International. Anil, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Hey, good morning, Mark. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you again. For those we interview, we like to start these off on a more personal level, get to know a little bit about the people we're interviewing, a little bit about you, your history, your role at MGM, and maybe a fun fact about yourself. Do you like to scuba dive? Do you have 14 kids? What's a passion you may have?
Got it. Sure. Well, happy to give you a little bit of background about myself. I've had a pretty diverse career, almost 25 years or more than 25 years, spanning a number of different industries. So for about the last 10 years, I've been in the travel and hospitality sector, primarily in the cruise industry, and then more recently working for MGM Resorts. And then prior to the hospitality industry, I spent about 5 years in the technology and digital media and telecom industry, as well as consumer electronics for about 5 years. And then prior to that, I spent about 7 years in financial services and the credit card industry. So had quite the variety there, working for a number of Fortune 500 companies. We've also had a number of different functional roles within those different industries. So I've worked in everything from strategy and analytics to marketing to revenue and product management and business development. So quite a variety there. And today I lead loyalty marketing on behalf of MGM Resorts. And so that really encompasses about 3 different functional areas. So one is managing the loyalty program itself for our 38 million members in terms of the marketing, the systems, the operations. And then I also have another part of my team that focuses on a lot of our loyalty partnerships. So as you may know, Mark, we have relationships with Hyatt Hotels and Southwest Airlines and Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises, as well as Avis. And then the last part of my team, last but certainly not least, another area of passion for me is financial partnerships. So manage a lot of our relationships with our co-brand credit card partners, MasterCard and First National Bank of Omaha, as well as our stored value gift card program. So just had quite the variety of experiences. And I guess fun fact, I think I've really been passionate about travel for a number of years, and had the good fortune of probably visiting over 30 countries in the last 10 years or 30 or more, just through a lot of my work in the cruise line industry. So just have lots of recommendations on fun places to go if anyone's interested. But
That's awesome. It's good to be able to hit that many different locales, especially a friend of mine's actually works on a cruise ship, and she's always on some new boat somewhere. So I guess it'd be a nice job to have. I'm not sure 4 kids is amenable to that, but it looks fun nonetheless. So
fun to travel with them.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who may not be familiar with MGM, can you give us a little bit about the brand's history? How customers traditionally engage with the brand. I know the whole gaming experience is changing from more gaming to entertainment and shows, and even how you engage with them. So, would love to know a little bit more about the brand's history and how customers interact with the brand today.
Sure. So I think a lot of people tend to know MGM as the big green building on the Las Vegas Strip. And so I think, what I think has surprised a lot of people when I talk to them, and I think even some of my colleagues have talked to their friends and family members, is really just understanding how the company has really expanded and grown over the years. So MGM we have over 9 properties on the Las Vegas Strip. So far more than Bellagio. So we have the Bellagio, the Aria, the Vdara, Mandalay Bay, and a number of other properties on the Strip. And so I think some people realize that, but what some people may not realize is that we've really expanded internationally as well. We have several properties in China. We recently got approval to eventually build an integrated resort in Japan. And then we have a number of regional properties throughout the United States. So typically on the East Coast in Boston and in DC and in New York and Michigan, Ohio and Mississippi, to name a few. So A lot of folks don't fully probably appreciate the breadth of properties and resorts that we have across our ecosystem. Yep. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. And then I'd say the other thing in terms of how you asked about how customers interact with us. So again, most people know us as a casino operator primarily, but I think the MGM story has evolved over the years where we were certainly a traditional casino operator, but as Las Vegas has changed, and we were certainly at the forefront of that change, to be more of an entertainment destination and really focused on our entertainment offering to really step up our game as it relates to culinary experiences and partnering with celebrity chefs over the years. And so it's just really evolved. And then more recently in the last several years, as sports betting has become legalized across a number of different jurisdictions across the United States, we allow our members to engage with us via our BetMGM sports betting and online gaming app. So that's just another way that people can engage while they're not even in Las Vegas or some of our regional properties.
Okay. I know earlier this year, you relaunched the MGM Rewards loyalty program. Can you tell us a little bit about the program, some of the changes, enhancements you made to the program, and kind of what went into that process of, evolving the program, developing a new program?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely an exciting time at MGM, and we were super excited about the launch of MGM Rewards that took place a few months ago. I think it would probably help for some of your viewers that may not know, just to give you a little more context about the program, kind of where we came from. So the previous program was called M Life. And so one of the first things that we changed about the new program was its name itself. So as I mentioned, a lot of folks didn't always associate us with M Life and even our properties with something other than the MGM Grand, the big green building on Las Vegas Strip. And so one of the things that we really, sought to do with this new loyalty program is to more closely align our actual company name with the loyalty program. Because again, not a lot of people kind of always associated M Life with MGM. And so MGM Rewards has become our new customer facing brand. So that was the first big change as part of the program. And then another sort of piece of context for your listeners is that the previous program, which was called M Life, was primarily a slot program. And so it really appealed to our slot players and served them very well for over 10 years. But candidly, there wasn't a lot of incentive for some of our non-gaming customers who visit our properties year after year, and in some cases spend a lot of money with us. So we really sought to expand the program beyond sort of a traditional slot program and really try to appeal to our non-gaming customers. And so what we did was we created a currency called MGM Rewards Points that effectively people will earn for their hotel stays with us, their food and beverage experiences with us, as well as any entertainment and retail purchases where they could redeem those for those different experiences. So for food and beverage and hotel spend, you'd earn, and then you'd have the ability to redeem for a lot of these other entertainment and retail experiences, including our spas. So probably another thing to mention as part of what we changed with the program is we had a little bit of differences between how our regional properties function from a loyalty perspective and how our our Las Vegas properties interacted with our members. So typically our regional players would earn some sort of currency for their table games play. And so what we wanted to do is make that happen across all of our properties. So now in Las Vegas, when you come to play blackjack or you play other table games, you'll also earn a currency for that. So it really helped to standardize some of the program across our regional and domestic properties. And then I would say one of the other big changes that we made to the program was really leaning into adding a variety of new benefits to the program. Yep. So I won't get into all of the benefits that we added, but I'll just maybe highlight a few of the more significant ones. So one of the biggest pain points that our members told us was they really hated paying resort fees. And so one of the big changes we made to the program was we were waiving resort fees for those members that book directly with us if they're at the gold or above tier status with us. So that's been really well received, and certainly the 2 months that we've had the program live, 3 months we've had the program live. And so that's really good feedback from our members that, again, takes into account their feedback and really just trying to add value to their loyalty program. One of the other things that we changed was when people achieve a new tier, we're offering them a new tier achievement dining credit. So if you hit platinum status as an example, or you hit noir status, we'll effectively give you the equivalent of like a $500 or $200 dining credit to come stay with us as sort of a celebration for hitting that new tier. So that's also been well received by a number of our members. And then one of the other changes that we made was really trying to, again, reward those high value players and high value non-gaming customers that are part of our program. And so for those people that achieve platinum status, they earn enough tier credits to achieve platinum status or noir status, we'll fly them to Las Vegas and provide them with an air travel credit to cover their transportation. So again, another new benefit that's been very well received. And then probably one of the last things I would mention about some of the program changes that we made is really trying to more tightly integrate with our sports betting partner and online gaming partner, BetMGM. So that's been a huge strategic initiative for us. And so one of the things that we've done over the years is really try and integrate the programs more closely. So if you join BetMGM and play, if you're an online gamer or you're a sports bettor in certain markets where that's live, you'll automatically be enrolled into MGM Rewards, and then also be able to earn tier credits towards your status with us. So we're able to effectively allow those BetMGM players to turn their digital experiences into actual on-property, physical experiences, and really just unlock a variety of new experiences on our properties. So that's been another huge win as part of the program.
Okay. You mentioned redesigning the program, some things you went through. That's a big area of kind of opportunity we see, especially in our brand membership. We have like 140 brands and growing that are members. Many of them have RFPs in market, or they're looking for the right technology. You're going about redesigning the program. That can be a big challenge, truly listening to and understanding your customers. What was the most valuable thing you learned while redeveloping the program? And how did you go about so effectively redesigning the program to tailor to your customers' needs?
Yeah, you touched on it. I mean, one of the things that we as a team worked on, and this goes back now a couple of years, even pre-COVID, to the desire for the company to really reach out and expand the tent to our non-gaming audience, and then really double down, no pun intended, on even our gaming audience with adding new ways to earn, both from a table games perspective as well as our BetMGM, digital mobile app. So we started by listening to our customers and really conducting a number of focus groups and surveys, and really trying to understand what were some of those, some of the pain points that they had with M Life. And as I mentioned, one of the things that popped right away was the paying resort fees. That was a real sore subject for members, and so that's one thing we definitely wanted to address with the new program. Like I said, it's been well received in terms of some of the changes. To answer your question around, valuable lessons, I think, with a program of our size and going through a huge change like we did, we obsess about these things. We want to make sure that we're improving the guest experience. We want to make sure that what we're doing, was a huge change. I mean, we changed signage all over Las Vegas, all over our digital assets, all over our regional properties to reflect the new branding and new program, and spent a lot of time. So we obsess about it, every day of the week. Our members, they may come once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year. In some cases, our high frequency customers come to us every week. But I think one of the biggest things that we learned as part of this is that change is hard. And I think we kind of intuitively knew this, but we always trying to refine our approach. Change is hard, and making sure that we take our members along the journey with us. So when we change things like the names of currency, well, we've adopted that new lingo and new language to make sure that our guests also understand what that means, and that, they're not losing any currency necessarily. We're just effectively rebranding it to more accurately reflect, what they can use that currency for. So just really being aware of the fact that it's going to take some time for our members to adopt the new lingo. I think is a huge part of, what we've been learning, and how do we continue to educate and keep them engaged in the program would probably be my answer to that.
And what are your goals, short and long term, for the program? When you redesign a program, having unique KPIs, good KPIs, metrics, measurements, very important. Benchmarking, I know that's something that the industry is working on. We're working on with our brands as well. But how do you go about setting some goals, short and long term, for the program?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I mean, one of the big objectives with the program was to really widen the tent and reach our non-gaming audience more effectively. And so for us, one of the big KPIs was around driving new member acquisition. And in some cases, these may be people that have stayed with us a number of times, but they didn't really have that motivation or incentive to join our program. And so now that we've given them, we think, a pretty compelling incentive, we're really hoping to drive significant member acquisition. And then, we're also, a lot of these new benefits that we offered, and I only touched on a few of them, but we're also offering things like a tier appreciation event. So when you effectively hit a new tier, we're going to have events for those members. We also have an MGM Rewards concert series that, again, is a thank you for your loyalty to MGM. And so we really want to check and monitor those engagement metrics. We want to monitor those satisfaction metrics. How happy are you with the program? How satisfied are you with the program? And so those are some of the KPIs that we're looking at. And certainly one of the other ones I probably didn't mention was just understanding where they're spending with us. And we historically, especially for our non-gaming audience, we want to learn more about them, learn more about their preferences. So we're tracking the percentage of their spend with us as well as another sort of key one for us. So that's sort of, those are some of the key metrics that we're watching pretty closely. And the longer term intention, right, is to take that data and be able to, again, have greater personalization for those members and be able to offer them experiences that are relevant to them. Because we just have a amazing portfolio of experiences that we have access to, and we want to make sure that we're getting relevant experiences to the right audience. So that's another key objective for us longer term.
Okay. You mentioned some of the partners that you have in your program. Partnerships are very important. With privacy coming out, some of the challenges there in privacy, and it's more restrictive now than it ever has been before, with cookies going away and some of the technology challenges as well. Brands are looking for partnerships that they can leverage in a very unique manner. How has MGM typically kind of approached partnerships, and how important is that to your customer loyalty efforts?
Yeah, it's a great question. And partnerships really are a very important part of our loyalty program. I mean, the way we approach partnerships is that we really look at partners who we think can add value to our members. So we're always trying to look for brands that are either in adjacent categories, like some of our travel partners that we have today, or in categories that help us with everyday spend, if you will, and can kind of keep reinforcing relationship with MGM. So, one example of that is our co-branded credit card, where today our members engage with us while they're at home in their home market. They can spend on our co-brand card and earn tier credits and earn points that allow them to elevate their status while they're not even visiting our property. So that's one key element, is the ability to leverage people's everyday spend and drive engagement with us. And then, we have partnerships with, as I mentioned, Royal Caribbean and Southwest Airlines and Hyatt Hotels. And with those partnerships, people can earn World of Hyatt points or Southwest Rapid Reward points for their stays with us, or earn free cruises with Royal or Celebrity. And so it really, again, it helps both parties. Like our partners like Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, they're potentially acquiring a new customer, but we're able to show value to our members by offering them free cruises. So we're looking for partners where there's a win-win, right, for both parties, and in fact, frankly, there's a third win, is the win for the customer, right, and most importantly, and being able to have the member feel like they're getting some value add as being a member of MGM Rewards. So partnerships are critical.
When you look at personalization, you touched on a little bit, getting the right data, zero-party data, transactional data, even opening up the MGM program to enable kind of a disparate set of data sources that you can, action on is very important. And what do you see as the opportunity for personalization?
For our brand in particular, I think it's incredible. I think we have the ability, just based on the experiences that we can offer, to really provide amazing experiences. So I'll give you a couple of quick examples. Through a lot of our partnerships, a lot of our sports partnerships, we have relationships with, say, the Boston Red Sox or Golden State Warriors. So, being able to capture your affinity to various fan groups. So we have the ability to potentially offer our members, the ability to throw out the first pitch or attend batting practice at Fenway Park. And we also have the ability to take some of our members, maybe they're Golden State Warriors fans, to be able to provide access to either seats or meet and greet experiences that are incredible. But I think a lot of that it starts with our ability to know our customers. And so that's where, to the extent that we can capture preferences of our members and be able to then offer them these experiences that we have access to is critically important. I mean, we do this very well today, Mark, with our hosts on a one-on-one basis. The challenge, as you mentioned, is just being able to do this at scale becomes a lot more difficult. And so that's really one of our biggest challenges that we're working towards.
Okay. And I think you mentioned this earlier, the gaming industry has changed pretty significantly. People aren't just gaming, they're coming to watch events, right? They want to come to things that you just did recently last weekend with the NFL draft and kind of a big parties like you had at the Bellagio. When you look at your customers, how are customers changing, and maybe how are they changing within the industry? And can you talk a little bit more about how you're adapting to that change?
Sure. I think, I speak I'm speaking somewhat as a consumer, but I think we see it in our own business and in prior companies I've been in, is I think customers just in general have, less patience for brands that aren't listening to them, and they are trying to execute a kind of a one size fits all approach to address their needs and wants. And so I think customers want, they want less friction when they're interacting with brands. They want, in our case, they want the ability to look at their point balances on their mobile app. They want the ability to, not have to call a call center or stand in line to speak with someone. So we're looking at ways to, effectively be able to offer self-service tools so that our members can do certain things, whether it's earning or redeeming points, kind of in a more seamless manner, so that they don't have to, go through some of these things that require them to stand online. So, we're certainly evaluating things like, chat and other tools and technology that allow, again, more real-time responses to member questions, as opposed to having to, like I said, stand in line at a desk or in our call centers online.
Right. Okay. What do you think the next big thing for MGM's approach to customer loyalty is?
Yeah, I touched on it a little earlier, but I think what we're looking for is really to get to know our members better and be able to provide more personalized experiences. Like I said, we have access to some truly amazing experiences, and we want to be able to make sure that we're getting the right experiences to our members, and really just being able to capture that data and be able to deliver those experiences to help, build loyalty with our program and with our brand.
Okay. When you look at your customer loyalty journey, what can Loyalty360 do to help you and your team along the way?
Well, I think there's certainly a number of things. I would welcome, members of your audience, if they have ideas for partnerships and how we might be able to work together. We certainly have no shortage of opportunities where I think there's areas of improvement where we could enhance our program. So being able to just share best practices with some of your listeners, I think, that's certainly a great opportunity. I would say, other than that, hospitality industry has been hit very hard, as I think everyone knows, during COVID. And so our teams have been sort of scaled back quite a bit, 2020 and 2021. And so we're really looking to build that team up now. So to the extent that, your listeners are out there potentially looking for a new and exciting opportunity, we definitely have a number of open positions that we're looking to fill. So would love to, engage with some of your listeners if they're interested.
Excellent. Well, I think this was a very informative interview. Thank you very much for taking the time. It was great to hear about the new program, some things you're doing, but most importantly, how you went about redesigning the program and, how you engage your customers to add more value, which I think is great.
Well, thanks, Mark. Really appreciate the opportunity. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone for listening. And please make sure to join us again for another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.